Let's see about full power here. It's got a nice sound. Hey friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I'm taking my first quick drive in the 2016 Nissan Titan XD. This one, the gasoline V8, the new 5.6 liter. And so we're just going to take a quick drive and get a few driving impressions and see what this new pickup's all about. This test drive actually is a little bit different because we are actually at the Nissan plant where they build the V8 engine for this truck, the new 5.6 liter engine that is, it's not 100% all new, but it is quite a bit new from the last generation 5.6 that they were using in the previous generation Titan. And so they've got this big plant here. We're actually taking a tour of that plant today while we're also driving these trucks, and we're going to have a complete video on how that engine's put together and a little bit of a tour of the plant, so be watching for that. The link will be down in the information section. But on our quick little drive here, we're just sort of getting some driving impressions. This is the Titan XD. The half ton isn't out yet. This is sort of a 5/8 ton, same exact frame with the Cummins diesel. Now there is a difference. This one actually has slightly less in the way of towing, but it has more payload than the diesel does, and that's because of the fact that the diesel engine has extra weight that actually takes out of its payload. So this truck actually has a payload that's about 500 pounds more than the diesel. Now this truck is loaded right now. I've got about 850 pounds of sand in the back. Still moves pretty good, 390 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque, and you can really feel it, even though I've got a pretty good pallet full of sand back there. And this transmission actually does a pretty nice job too of running through those gears. One thing that has stuck out at me doing a little bit of driving here is that the last Titan with the 5.6, you got a lot of exhaust note. That was sort of a play. That truck really sounded like a big old American V8. This one, they've tuned it a little bit differently. It's a little bit more engine noise from under the hood, no exhaust note that you can hear inside the cab like you can on the old Titan. And this actually has a sound that's a little bit more machined, it's a little bit more refined, let's say. And I'd put it on par with what you find in the Toyota Tundra. It's almost the same type of sound, and really we're almost in the same size and power range too, so it's very similar to that. The big difference here is, of course, we've got the 7-speed transmission. Now the transmission, of course, does want to save fuel, so it's not always right there with the shifting, but it has a nice feel to it. Now the other thing that's different between this and the Titan XD Cummins that we've driven quite a few times is the steering feels a little bit lighter, and that makes sense because this engine's quite a bit lighter than that Cummins V8, and that's something that, had I not driven the Cummins, I wouldn't know the difference. But first time I drove that truck, wouldn't have known the difference either. But if you drive this one back and forth with the diesel, you'll find that this one actually has quite a bit lighter steering feel. Now this is a Pro 4X that I'm driving here at the moment, so I've got off-road tires on this. They're not quite as grippy on curves, especially with a load back there. And one thing I did notice too is these tires actually make just a little bit of road noise that you don't get with the standard tires that are on the rest of the range. What Nissan's told us about fuel economy is nothing. This is a truck that's not really about fuel economy. If you want fuel economy, that's what the diesel's for. This is a truck that's, you know, it's above a half ton. It's meant for being able to tow and haul, and it's not really a gas mileage play. And that's a good thing because the mileage that I'm seeing here on the dash isn't that good. It's 12. Now, granted, what's on the dash is always sort of an entertainment device because these things aren't always that accurate. But in my day driving different trucks, that's about what I've been seeing, is 12, 13. And we're out here, of course, on a nice country road here in Tennessee. Very quiet. This is a very quiet truck, definitely quieter than the diesel for obvious reasons, but aside these tires, as I mentioned, being slightly noisier than the standard tires, road noise, wind noise inside this cab is almost nil. The pricing on the 5.6 gas Titan XD is going to be right around exactly $5,000 less than the Cummins turbo diesel. So if you already know what the pricing is on that truck, take $5,000 off, and that's where your pricing is going to be on this one. I think that as this comes to market, there's going to be probably a tough time getting your hands on this for a little while, because there's a lot of people out there that have been waiting for the gas version of this truck. As you know, when they first launched the Titan XD, it was diesel only, that's it. Nissan tells me that this truck is now rolling out of the factory. It's going to be showing up at dealerships almost about the time you see this. Now the half-ton, the one that's a little bit further down the scale, is going to be arriving this summer. And then later towards the end of the year, you're going to start seeing other cab configurations besides the crew cab that we've got here. Right now, they're just building big crew cabs, fully loaded for the most part. Not a lot of work trucks, not a lot of single cabs, or the super cab. Those are coming a little bit later. They're phasing it out. Basically, it's a marketing thing. They want to make sure they get everybody's image of this truck as the big, brawny, premium product before they start selling the inexpensive ones out there. Some might say it's brilliant, some might say it's risky. Either way, right now, if you drive around, you don't see a lot of these things sitting on dealer lots. Well, there you have it for my first quick driving impressions of the 2016 Nissan Titan XD with the new 5.6 liter gas V8. We're going to have another test drive very soon when we get more time with the vehicle. In the meantime, click on the link right here on your screen and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We test drive one, sometimes two vehicles every week. Plus, we have a new video almost every day. There's always something new. So stay tuned. Are we ready? Okay. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, I can't have a rattling seatbelt.